it's official. Need for Speed has once again been put on ice because of Battlefield. You know, I can't even lie, that looks sick. Look, at this point, we are not strangers to this happening. This has happened a couple times before now, but with less positive light, usually less publicity around the whole point. The fact of the matter is, we actually heard something officially this time, whereas normally we just wait and hear it quietly from employees saying, oh yeah, by the way, I have no job anymore. No, this time genuinely feels a little bit different. So I don't want to sit here and say, oh my god, everything's perfect, everything's fine, because I am pissed off. But at the same time, I can give you no solid, this is actually going to happen, because quite frankly, I doubt even the creators of the game actually know. So let me give you the details and summarize exactly what has just happened. Need for Speed will return, EA pledges, but team all in on Battlefield for now. Let me catch you up. There are 2 Criterion teams, and this split happened quite a while ago now. That amazing second year of content that we got, that was all developed by the Kaizen team. This Kaizen team, I can't say the official number, I don't think, but the number of people working on that Need for Speed, all those updates we experience, normally a Need for Speed game is made with about 100, 130, 140 people. This was made by a hell of a lot less, is what I'll say. So most of the team was working on Battlefield, while the rest of the team were working on the updates that we got recently. So from the PvP onwards. Now, ignoring that this small team achieved amazing things that we never thought possible with a Need for Speed team ever again, bringing back like the underground theme, bringing back Razor. We got some incredible moments from these teams, but they have all of them, including like handling designers and car body part designers, have been moved to Battlefield. And I kind of expected this to happen, if I'm honest. I have never been more hopeful for the future of Need for Speed, but at the same time now this is just pissed all over the fire. They know exactly what needs to be done. They are ready and more prepared than I think they've ever been, maybe at all. I'm not joking here. So if they were to not go forward with this, it would be the most idiotic decision of a lifetime. But in reality, Battlefield is very close, and so they want to wrap that up. Now, I don't think we'll ever get that full Criterion team back, but I do think we could possibly get those Kaizen people back out working on a project again, because they've shown that genuinely, if they gave them enough time and a much cut budget, they could probably make the game on their own. However, that's not realistic. They'll need some more people, so they'll need to be a full team. Maybe to the level that they were before, but I saw this coming, is another thing I want to say. Nothing like directly from, you know, being involved with helping out in the future of the game or anything. We've seen it all over at EA. Every single team is being ripped apart and watered down, if you will, and placed onto Battlefield. That is their priority, and they need this game to bang. It is a big hitter, or at least it was at some point, and they have so much hope for this series that it makes me wonder why they don't have the same hope for anything else. I do not get it. I just want to make sure you are absolutely clear what you're doing, EA. I refuse to buy Battlefield. I don't care how good it looks or how, maybe it's a return to form. Hell, I love Bad Company 1 and 2, one of my favorites. 1942, 3, whatever the piss it was. I love those games. They were so much fun, and I preferred them over the Call of Duties of that time. However, I cannot support Battlefield, and I never will. Not again, anyway. Unless you provide me what I want, a Need for Speed game that even with a smaller team, there's no crossover there. You're using those employees that could make a game that interests me on a game that no longer interests me in the slightest. I mean, okay, maybe it does. It will go against my morals. Just to be clear here, I'm not expecting you guys to make the same decision. You don't have to not support a game because I say so. You are level-headed human beings for the most part, and I expect you to make the decision that is right for you, but your money has power, and I want to make my opinion very clear, so I will not be directly supporting Battlefield no matter what, and I will continue to say that I will not be buying the game and making that information public because I just do not support this practice of destroying other IPs. Yeah, this works well for Assassin's Creed, doesn't it? Remember when they had like 1,000+ employees, like 2,000 employees working on Assassin's Creed, and the series is like at its lowest ever? It goes incredibly well. Oh, what was that other Battlefield game that you took all the teams and built? Yeah, that went well as well, didn't it? Was that low point of the series? I think it was. I actually played that Battlefield. It was 2040, whatever. Garbage. It was the intro to that game, disgraceful. I can't believe it. Just throws you into a game with like, it was the most garbage intro thrown together piece of crap I have ever played. One thing I want to make incredibly clear to you as well, EA, because of course one of the big thoughts for the EA is that they wanted to be king of sports. Yeah, we've got racing games, so we've got F1, we've got WRC. Again, I do not give a shit. I want to make that incredibly clear. I don't care about motorsports. I don't care about sports. I do not like them. What works for me is street racing. Why? There's a crossover to real life. There's a bridge. I like cars. I like road cars in particular. I like the way they work. Sure, I appreciate the innovation that motorsport brings, but I don't really care to race around the track. I like open world and I like street racing. It's something I cannot do in real life. Remind you of any other games? Quite a lot, actually. Quite a lot of games. That's the point. I enjoy experiences, things that I cannot do in real life. Those are my favorite things. If I cannot go around a street race because there's genuine consequences for getting into, you know, a police chase, for example, I want to do it in a game. And an experience, it's fun. It's better than a movie because I'm doing it. But I'm not. I don't think I should have to explain the concept of a game to a game publisher. The fact I'm having to do that is insane. So what I want to do right now is give a massive thank you to the Kaizen team. The Kaizen team have been awesome in listening and, hell, getting ahead of kind of what our feedback already was going to be based on their listening to the community and ultimately knowing this series inside and out. The fact of bringing back Razor, doing a Most Wanted update, an Underground update, doing the ultimate fan service is just something I just never expected.
What's mine?
So I want to say a massive thank you for you guys that stuck around to fight for Need for Speed, and I really, really, really hope all of you get head jobs and whatever comes next for Need for Speed, because you deserve it. You're the ones that stuck around. You're the ones with the passion. Some of the people there, my friends, have been with the series longer than some of you can even think of. So big thank you guys. Let them know down in the comments like things that you really appreciate about these updates and things that just brought back that feel of Need for Speed, because there's no game that feels like Need for Speed. Even at its lowest points, there's just something about a Need for Speed game that just doesn't exist in any other universe or game series, I would say. Maybe GTA. Maybe GTA. So the Kaizen team did the work of 100 employees from previous titles. And so I really think there should be somewhere in the middle. I think that size team, it may take longer to make a game, but they really know the direction and it will be cheaper to make overall. I will rather wait longer for a better game that's perfect, on point, and I don't mean perfect in perfectly polished or something. I don't actually care about that. I just want a fun experience, because The Crew 1, for example, an incredibly flawed experience made by a smaller team than the modern The Crew games, but in my opinion, still worlds better than the current Crew game. Tokyo Extreme Racer, again, from a team that made some weird indie game beforehand that just didn't... It was a weird platforming, just nonsense game, and all of a sudden Tokyo Extreme Racer is back, and it is one of my favorite games I have played in a long time. Incredibly simple, yes, but that's besides the point. Maybe that's what we need sometimes. I don't need a do-everything game when GTA is going to do everything better. What I need is it to focus in on what it does best. Muddying the water by literally muddying, throwing in rally racing and stuff in Need for Speed made no logical sense. However, returning to drag racing like they did in the updates, adding a lockdown mode, mate, enhancing the street racing Persona experience, they clearly knew what they were doing, and I am so excited with the time maybe that they get while they're, you know, having to slave away on Battlefield, to think about what could be next for Need for Speed. I really hope we get a team somewhere in the middle, personally. Now, I don't really know if this information is public, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because you can probably find this out anyway. Criterion, including the Kaizen people, a lot of the Kaizen staff, they were working on both games as is. Yeah, they were already working on Battlefield, so I kind of expected it to go this way. We're on crunch time with the next Battlefield game, and they need this game to work. Otherwise, EA will probably be in some hot water. Now, I can't predict how EA would react. If Battlefield failed again, would that be the better result? Or if Battlefield did good again, would that be the better result? I don't know which result gets us a Need for Speed game. Because I worry that if it does incredibly well, then we don't get a Need for Speed game. But if it does okay, then maybe we do. And if it doesn't do well, I don't think we get... So we need to be somewhere in the middle. Is what I expect. Little tangent over. But yes, the team was already working on Battlefield at the same time as them working on Need for Speed. So not only did they make these updates while working on Battlefield, no, my friends, they did 2 jobs at once and probably for 1 salary, which is so insane. I hate the gaming industry. I really do. You know, I wanted to be within the gaming industry, quite like as in working on creating games, but I'm gonna be honest, every day that passes, the more you learn about the industry, I cannot stand the gaming industry. It is something I would... I just don't want to do. No, I'm kidding. I think my passion would fuel me a little bit. If you've been around for a while, you'll know that this is not the first time something like this has happened. It has happened, well, exactly twice for Need for Speed. Even when they had the 100 team, the whole Criterion team got shifted to Battlefield. It happened before. This time it was a little bit more staggered. So they were actually, maybe in my head, a little bit more interested in hearing the idea, since one big change did happen, because the management of Need for Speed previously was actually under EA Sports for some fucking reason, but Need for Speed is now under the umbrella of EA Entertainment. Those are technically 2 separate parts of the company, and I think the EA Entertainment side is the much better place. They finally get it, that it's actually a better place for Need for Speed to be on. Now, the reason they did this is so they can make Criterion work on Battlefield, but there is, I think, a net positive here. Once all of this Battlefield craziness has figured itself out, and they've got the game built to what it should be, most of those FPS games are kind of, that's a wall, reusing assets, and hopefully we can have the 2 Criterion team situation again. So I go into it a little bit more hopeful than I was previously. So now for the big question, friends, and this one is a little tricky, and I don't exactly know how to answer it, because after everything I've said, and I remain hopeful, and the words, Vince Zampella so far has kind of kept his word when it comes to giving Need for Speed the love it deserves and so on. He stuck to his word. Look, we are about to get Forza Horizon 6. We're about to get GTA 6. We've had Tokyo Extreme Racer. We've heard rumors of Driver returning. Night Runners is going to be absolutely awesome, and we know it. That's ignoring all the simulator side things that are going down. Right, okay, the one glaring, you know, Assetto Corsa Evo being one of the best, and Gran Turismo very likely getting a new game or coming to PC very, very soon. Or both. We are about to enter a new golden era for racing, it feels like. And I am ready for it. And hell, I mentioned GTA. GTA is going to stick around. Like, it, for us, for, you know, the beginning and joyous for GTA. Because GTA, you know, these days, I know a lot of people just look at it and go, oh, God, it's like the kids' YouTube. I get it. It's frustrating for me because I love GTA and I want to play more GTA, but I can't justify it for work. We know it's going to be, for the first few years, awesome. Maybe the best racing game to play for street racing, tuning, upgrading, everything. No worries about car manufacturers. Infinite budget game, throwing in new cars constantly. It's going to be the best experience for racing games. And then Forza Horizon 6 is very close, or Forza Horizon 5 on PS5 at least, is coming out in a couple of months. If any time makes sense to take a hiatus, and this will be the biggest hiatus of a Need for Speed ever. I think so far it's only been 2 years. That was the gap from 2013 to 2015 for Need for Speed 2015, the reboot. And that was an incredible return to form for the series, the last time it had a hiatus like this. So I'm hopeful. But if I'm honest, when will we see it again? There's a potential and thought that GTA may get delayed till next year, but we're looking at in the next year and a half that we'll see GTA. They might actually wait for the fallout of GTA to happen I mean, the fallout of, you know, the destruction of the whole industry and everything car related for the next couple of years. That's basically what I'm saying. So I think it's wise to avoid it. So I think, though, what we're looking at is they start working on the next Need for Speed. Hopefully, once this Battlefield is out. But I'm talking small team and building up the team and getting it going. I don't think we'll see a Need for Speed again until, at the very least, 2027, 2028. And what I'm going to say is I really hope we go a bit smaller. Don't get me wrong, I hope we keep all the cars and all the handling and changes and improvements that we saw. Maybe put them across all the cars and, you know, changes that we've seen in this game become throughout the game. Everything integrated into single player. A story that's a little bit more interesting. Again, you know me, we'll talk about all the stuff I want to see in the future, but you get the idea. A refined combination of Heat and Unbound, but mostly Heat. But with how games are taking 5-6 years in a lot of times to build from new engines and stuff, I don't think Need for Speed needs that. I really don't, which is good news for us. But I want to see focused down. Get it in, dial it in, keep it what it should be. I want to see a 2015 style return, but with the Heat level of knowledge. I think that's the best way to explain it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I think I'm hiding a lot of my anger and frustration throughout this video. I think I'm doing a good job. You proud of me? Just because I know this is a little bit different in that the team didn't just get closed like with Need for Speed Heat. That was the biggest insane thing to me, was the closure of the whole studio, or like ripping them apart for the most part. So most people lost their jobs or didn't want to move or move to Battlefield, like completely move to DICE. This is a very different situation, it seems like. I'm a little bit more hopeful. And quite frankly, I've just taken a little bit more time to digest it than I did previously. But I'm still really upset, because it is my favorite racing game series. There's nothing else like it. There really is nothing else like it, and I can't put it into words. I'm not good with words. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.